So let's start with the tea party. And I have no idea what to expect this time. Are we going back to Battler, maybe? When I came to, my webcam fell down. Oh, that's... When I came to, all was silent. The room was dimly lit, and yet it was massive. Where on earth is this? I was sitting in what seemed to be a very short sofa. It was very constricting. It looked like there were several more of them to each side of me. Once I noticed that, I realized that I was in a theater. Huh? It's him? Or her? Where on earth am I? I don't know how long I've been here, and more importantly, I don't know where this is. Beatrice's funeral ended. Everyone went back to the mansion, and after that, my memory gets fuzzy, and I can't recall anything else. Then I was surprised to notice the presence of another person. Apparently, I wasn't the only one sitting in the audience, seating of this vast theater. The sound had come from her seat to the side of mine. When I looked, I saw a girl sitting several seats off to my left. It was a face I had never seen before. Who is she? She looked like a high schooler or a college student, about the same age as I was. She groaned. Apparently she had just woken up. I didn't want to scare her, so I decided to introduce myself first. Hello. Oh, it's her. Apparently she was equally surprised to find someone other than herself here. She jumped when she heard my greeting. Who the hell are you? I feel the same way. It seems that neither of us is here of our own accord. Is that the one-winged crest? Huh? Do you recognize this crest? I mean, she has it on her arm as well. She looked suspiciously at the one-winged crest emblazoned on my collar. Her stare, which was unmoving but not openly hostile, wasn't exactly pleasant for me. Allow me to introduce myself first. I am Ushidomiya Leon. Ushidomiya, huh? What? Leon. Written as Leon, but pronounced Leon. Pretty strange name, don't you think? No stranger than mine, but I'll have to apologize. I don't know who you are. That's hardly surprising, since I don't know you either. That's not what I meant. Who are you? There's no one like you in the Ushidomiya family. And why are you so sure? Do you have something to do with my family? Well, since you're asking, I'm a member of the Ushidomiya family. But that's... She showed me her left sleeve and the crest of the one-winged eagle emblazoned upon it. I regret having to ask the same question, but who are you? I've never seen you in the Ushidomiya family. First they tear me into little bits, then they make me read. What's next? Which witch am I supposed to be entertaining this time? She spat out those words and seemed to be complaining about something. Angie. I'm Ushidomiya Angie, Rudolph and Kiria's daughter. What? Angie-chan? But you're supposed to be 6 years old. I was 6 during the year of the final family conference on Rokkanjima. Now I get it. So you're a person from the year 1986. I'm 18 years old, and I'm from the year 1998. In other words, you're the Angie-chan of 12 years in the future? I'm glad you believe it, but unfortunately I don't have a clue who you are. Who are you? Who are your parents? My father is Klaus. Natsuhi is my mother. Well, technically that is not correct, and you know it. That will make you Jessica Oni-chan. Jessica is my little sister. What's going on? Wasn't Jessica Oni-chan an only child? By this point, I was starting to figure out the situation this Angie had come from. She's probably from the world where I awakened as a witch, the world where Leon doesn't exist. It will be a bit difficult to explain, but think of it this way. In a world slightly different from the one you know, I am also a member of the Ushidomiya family. In your world, a different fate leads me to walk a different path through life, so that I do not live as an Ushidomiya family member. Are you a witch? Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm just an ordinary human. What I just told you is something I heard from the witch called Bernkastel's son. Bernkastel? That one with the long blue hair and the gloomy face? Yes. That probably fits her, I think. In other words, I've been forced to play along with another witch's farce. Just where is this place? I only woke up a second ago myself. I'm wondering the same thing. It looks like a theater. Are we supposed to watch a play or something? How many are there? If we're talking about the psychotic one, then we mean the same. I'm really not in the mood now. Let's look for an exit. You haven't noticed yet? Look. Huh? Oh, these are... Oh, I finally noticed. Both of my wrists and ankles had chains attached to them. That can't be good. As long as I sat here, I had enough slack that I could move about a little, but it looked like there wouldn't be nearly enough for me to get out of this place. Who would do something like this? Once a witch has made you her peace, you'll be their plaything forever. There's no way to escape. Angie crossed her legs, making the chains clank together. She realized that no amount of struggling could have broken those chains. Getting panicky wouldn't accomplish anything. She must have had nerves of steel. What do you mean a witch's peace? It's like being their slave. I made a deal once. I said I wanted to see my family to bring them back from that day. In exchange for making that a possibility, that witch turned me into a witch's peace. At least the witch kept her promise. I was able to see Unichan again. You mean Betlerkun? Well, I wasn't even able to tell him who I was. I mean, you did, but then you got horribly torn to pieces. And in exchange for that shorter bit of time, I'm now trapped inside the witch's toy box for all eternity. Looks like you are too. Did you make some sort of contract? Nothing of the sort. Did you ever ask a witch to grant a wish for you? Never. She taught me what a miracle my existence is. That's all. Either way, neither of us is getting out of here. Okay, witches, what kind of show do you have for us this time? Have we moved from reading aloud to theater going? Am I supposed to watch someone else read aloud this time or what? If that's it, then start it up already. I'm bored enough as it is. Angie yelled this to the pitch black stage. Her voice reverberated throughout the theater, but no one gave an answer. No, someone did. And that was also in a voice that rang out across the theater. However, that voice sounded theatrical, as though someone was announcing the start of a play. What happened on that day, you ask? I'm not telling. If only you would just give up and die. Uh-oh. Whose voice was that? That old hag. It was Aunt Eva's voice. What does she mean by what happened on that day? She's talking about the 4th and 5th of October in the year 1986, the day of the final family conference on Orokenjima. In other words, today. Today is October 4th, 1986. As a prelude to the family conference, Beatrice's funeral was held. That's a surprise. So you've come here from October 4th, 1986. Tell me, what happened during those 2 days? Well, how would he know if he came from the 4th? Also, I'm changing my headphones again. Okay. I actually ordered new ones. I'm still waiting for them to arrive. The answer she seeks is inside the cat box. All I can tell her about is my close call with a sad life. However, I doubt that explanation will satisfy her. Then a pillar of bright light pierced the stage. Oh, her again. There stood a white shadow. That white dress was obviously Claire's. Of course, Angie didn't recognize her. She looked suspicious, apparently wondering who in the world this was. Yeah, I mean, she was apparently asleep all the time. However, even I felt as though something was wrong. Didn't she settle all of her regrets in that funeral a short while ago before being sent off into the next world? She stood all alone in the narrow beam of light in the center of the stage, and the expression on her face was lifeless. The light began to grow brighter and brighter. It shone more and more fiercely on her until it became blinding just to look at her. The world was enveloped by a light so bright that we couldn't open our eyes, surrounded by a sound like winter television static. And our minds began to go blank. Huh? Huh? Whoa. They're blooming wonderful again this year. It must be a pain to take care of all these. Pretty easy for us though, just looking at them. I agree. We've got to thank the people who take care of them for us. But it is a bit lacking in grace. I prefer the way it used to be before Nissan decided to pile so much on. The old look did have its own charm, didn't it? Oh, I love roses. I'd like them even more if they didn't have thorns. Whoa, this rose garden really takes me back. I'd totally forgotten about it these past 6 years. I guess it really has been that long. Both you and this garden have changed so much. Is this like the family conference for the other, for the Leon reality now? Let me introduce you. This is Kanon-kun, one of our servants. I can't be, because Kanon is there. This is the first time you've met Bella, right? Pleased to meet you. You can just call me Bella. Nice to meet you. Shannon's here too today. Remember when we used to play together? Ah, Shannon-chan. I'd totally forgotten. That really takes me back. How's she been doing? She's grown more and more beautiful these past 6 years. You should say hi to her later on. Shannon and George and Ichan are really good friends. Maria, shh. That's a secret. If you would, everyone, allow me to guide you to the guest house. After enjoying the lovely welcome provided by the roses, the relatives followed Gouda, or Gouda, as I like to call him, in the direction of the guest house. October 4th, 1986, Rokkenjima. In a world without Leon, on the day of the Ushidome family conference. Oh? So it is a world without Leon. Maria read a mysterious letter aloud after dinner, just as she had been told to. The writer of the letter claimed to be the Golden Witch Beatrice and challenged the family. Try and solve the riddle of the epitaph, otherwise I will take everything. It was Beatrice's announcement of the game's start. The same as the usual games. Had an unknown person appeared related to the problem of the inheritance distribution? Where was the 20 billion yen worth of gold hidden? What was the purpose of this letter? For what goal had it been written? Who on earth is this Beatrice? It was the usual dinner on October 4th, where several bits of suspicion and paranoia intertwined. George-kun, I'm sorry, but could you go to the guest house with the others? My apologies. Shannon, take the children to the guest house. We will move straight on to the family conference. Yes, as you wish. Beatrice the Golden Witch, what a fascinating letter you've sent us. She's telling us to solve the epitaph? Ridiculous. That gold belongs to us. Why would we ever give it up to some outsider? Well, because she already solved it. It's already hers, as we know now. If we could just find that gold, we'd all be happy. No one would have to lose anything. Let's go, everyone. They'll be having an adult conversation from here on out. Jeez, sounds like it's gonna get complicated. Come on, Maria. Let's go. Beatrice ceremony has begun. Okay, everyone. I shall guide you to the guest house. Before I murder you all. Oh, sorry. What's all this about? Probably a replay of one of the old games, or else an entirely new game. In all the games, October 4th happens in pretty much the same way. A new game? You mean a tale that hasn't appeared in any of the fragments so far? There's no way they'd go to the trouble of chaining us down if they just wanted to show us a game we already know. It's probably a new game. That means there should be a game master. Who is it? Is it gonna be like the final game? I mean, we only have one episode left. That witch? Bandcastle? I can't imagine so. Claire should have vanished already. There should be no need to spin up a new tale. It's not fucking deal. Beato's game board was hijacked by those evil witches long ago. Even Beato's nothing more than a piece in their games. Just who is behind this and what are they after? What do they want to show us? Before this tale began, Claire definitely appeared on the stage. She's the teller of the tale of Beatrice's game. Beatrice, the me from a world of a different fate. However, didn't she entrust everything to Will? Didn't she entrust everything to Will, who solved all of the riddles? Yeah, and how he solved them? By just speaking in riddles himself. There should be no need for her to make new riddles. In that case, is Bianca still using this tale to test me? Along with Will, I have at least touched the deepest depth of this tale, and understood the culprit's heart, so even if an entirely new tale presents itself, I should be able to see through the riddles. Is that what my role is? Is my role to teach Angie about the truth of this tale? Do you know? Do you know the truth of this tale? I have several theories. Still, none of those can give a conclusive answer. The truth is always inside the cat box. I can't say anything for sure. In this world, Angie is absent on this day, so it's only natural that she doesn't know what happened. However, at the very least, I do know who the culprit is and what they were trying to do on this day. I think I finally understood my role in this. What do you mean? Apparently you're here as a theater goer, and I'm here as a commentator. Then, as a commentator, what exactly is it you're going to explain for me? After all, I know who's behind the crime that's about to occur. What did you say?
Thinking about it straightforwardly, the only explanation I see is that someone's trying to make us solve the epitaph, hoping to then snatch the gold for themselves. I agree. If they'd already solved it, they could just take it. There'd be no need to challenge us to solve the riddle.
Well, that's where you're wrong. It's a prank by one of the servants. They must be hoping to pick up the scraps from the celebration if the gold is found. I cannot imagine that any of our servants would do such a thing. Or maybe one of us sent the letter pretending to be a servant. If that's it, you're the most suspicious one. You schooled Maria-chan on her part and made her read the letter, didn't you? I wouldn't do that. I'm more used to slapping her.
Give that a rest, Ava. We can't jump to conclusions. Isn't this the time for us all to stick together?
That's right. The aim of the strange letter is probably to disrupt our unity. The more we let it affect us, the more things will go the way of this Beatrice who sent it.
Kiri-san's right. Wouldn't it be best to simply ignore a letter like that from the start?
That is what I have been saying this whole time. This sort of prank is not worth considering. Yes, that's it exactly. If a couple improbable claims for damages get you flustered,
you'll never be able to sell anything.
My husband is right. This is a child's prank, and taking it seriously is just a waste of time. If someone really wanted to shake up the inheritance issue, they'd come forward boldly instead of using something this roundabout.
You've got it right there.
Someone probably wants to make us think there's another person trying to make demands about the inheritance when their real goal is just to pick up the scraps. I wonder if they'll ask for some hush money in exchange for staying out of the inheritance issue. If that were the case, they should have written it into the letter.
And the letter is just a challenge, telling us to try solving the epitaph or else hand over everything. The corporate is trying to make us solve the epitaph's riddle. Nothing more, nothing less. So it's simple. If we worry about this letter, we'll lose. Indeed, I agree. After that big mysterious show, like something out of a mystery novel, we've all gotten a bit too wrapped up in this. It seems we're all taking this too seriously.
But who did it? Such an aggravating thing to do. If it wasn't a servant, then one of us must have written it. I'm not naming names, of course. Stop it. I really know nothing about this. Settle down. Anyway, what this letter says does make a bit of sense. All of us need money, and if possible, we need it right away. No one here has any objection to that, right? Of course not. Whether it's money or love, you can never have too much. I'm just reading this in my normal voice because I don't know who it is. We don't know when Father's inheritance will come to us. However, the gold of the epitaph is different. If we find it, we could just split it then and there. In a sense, it's even closer to us now than the inheritance is. Assuming we can solve the epitaph. Everyone here has tried solving it on their own, yes? Kyria asked the room at large, and everyone wordlessly nodded back. Here we have 4 people who have inherited the blood of the one who made that riddle, and each has tried solving it on their own. That doesn't sound very efficient, does it?
True. We've all been greedy and tried to go it alone. However, we've already reached a decision about how we'll split the gold up if it's found, and about acknowledging Aniki as the successor. Though you demanded quite a lot in exchange.
I wonder if we can solve that epitaph if we pool our efforts and work together. 2 heads are better than 1, and here we have 7. Today we reached a general agreement about the inheritance problem. Why not take a shot at the epitaph for a bit of fun on the side?
Nice idea. Let's give it a try and call it a break.
Ridiculous. Of course there's no hidden gold. Take it easy. Just think of it as a game. Let's have Gorda-san bring us something cool to drink. We can take a break and all play with riddles as a big happy bunch of siblings for once. Well, the night is long. It would at least be more productive than pointless inquiries into father's health. I'll ring up Goda-san. He could bring us something. Let's have tea and sweets. Oh, and a map of Taiwan. Oh. Two shadows could be seen in the rose garden arbor. It was George and Shannon's secret meeting. I want you to take this ring. George-sama. I swear to love you all my life. Not just now, while you were young. I swear to love you and keep you happy until we get old and go to our graves. And are there any lies or exaggerations in your words? No, not one. I'm confident in my resolve to love you and build a happy household together with you. Oh, I see why she's asking that. Almost overlooked that, but I think we all know why she asks this. And what would this happy household be like? Well, it will be full of happiness. We'll have a house with a car and a yard, and one dog. The yard will have a vegetable garden. The kids will run around, and we'll smile down at them from the balcony. That's what our typical future Sunday will look like. That would be wonderful. What? Those two are going out? Shh, shh. Why are you so damn loud? Maria'll wake up. I see, so that's how it is. Now that you mention it, they seem to have a pretty good mood going on there. That's right, we're about the age where you fall in love. We've changed a lot in the last 6 years. George Nissan used to be a bit unreliable, but he isn't anymore. That's what I thought. George Aniki's got that air of dignity thing going. But still, Shannon-chan and George Aniki, that's a bit unexpected. They played together often enough 6 years ago, but I didn't think they were that close. Well, 6 years is a long time. These 6 years have been huge for all of us. Yep. A lot's happened to me these 6 years, and to be honest, I've forgotten almost everything about Okanjima. Yeah, like for example, the fucking promise you made. And I'd forgotten almost everything about you too. Now that really hurts. You want to talk. Talking together like this, it felt as though we'd been teleported 6 years into the past. 6 long years, so long that I forgot almost everything. Yeah, no shit. And yet it's coming back to me bit by bit. Except that one important part. Shannon-chan, 6 years ago you were part of our group and we played together a lot, didn't we? Back then I think I might have liked Shannon-chan. That was the age when we were all overly self-conscious and love with love. Bittersweet memories of jokes involving melodramatic, flippant words. That takes me back. I think I remember saying all kinds of stuff that I'd be way too embarrassed to say now. God, just remembering it is making my face go red. Isn't this pretty much the same text as episode 1? I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it's been, like, what, half a year? But, Shannon might be a scatterbrain, but her memory is incredible. Guess I'll just have to ask her all about your dark, embarrassing history. Quit it. That was 6 years ago. The statute of limitations has got to be up. I see. So, Shannon-chan is going out with George Aniki. What am I thinking? Could this be jealousy? I didn't really think about it until now, but that thing Shannon-chan and I had back then was probably my first love. Well, it's not like I have any right to be jealous after forgetting the whole thing until we met again.
Everyone knows that Dad's hometown was Taisho in Taiwan.
Oh, everyone knows that, so why did you never fucking mention that?
He still shoots Erica and us from time to time in memory of that place.
I still like the fact that I actually caught that bit. Have to be part of something, right?
Apparently he got hooked on that instead of Smokey when he was young.
But there must be several rivers there with sweetfish swimming in them. It has several mountain streams that are famous sweetfish fishing spots. Anyway, you could probably find sweetfish living in anywhere near the water was clean. We're completely stuck.
Maybe it was just some nearby creek Father played in as a kid. He said sweetfish, but maybe we were looking for something more like carp.
Or it could be some sort of metaphor. The river isn't necessarily a river with water flowing through it. What do you mean by that? Well now, who knows?
Kiri has a point there. Isn't it a bit too early to be sure that Taiwan is this homeland, or that the Sweetfish River is a river with water flowing down it? If we look at it that way, we're just stuck again. The more you think about this riddle, the harder it gets.
That's it. This is just a riddle. Kiri-san is right. We need to be flexible in our thinking. If we're looking for a river near Taisho, that would have to be Danshui River. Are you even listening? We just said that it might not be the kind of river with water flowing down it. Is there any proof that this river is a Sweetfish River? You're right, I'm sorry.
Well, it probably did have sweetfish in it. After all, Danshui does mean fresh water. Makes sense that a freshwater fish like sweetfish would be swimming in it. Sweetfish are freshwater fish, so a Sweetfish River would be a freshwater river. Is that how we get Danshui River? Quite the word game.
Now that's an interesting theory. Let's advance our reasoning a bit further. As you travel down the river, you will see a village. What's the name of the town at the mouth of Danshui River? It says Danshui here. I went sightseeing in Danshui. It was a calm and gentle harbor town. Beautiful sunsets. Did you find the shore the two will tell you of? Not really. It doesn't ring any bells. I guess the beloved hometown wasn't in Taiwan. It might have been Odawara after all.
If we can't discount any possibilities, then we won't get anywhere. We can't even get past the first line of the epitaph.
Quiet, you're distracting me. It has to be Taiwan. Father wouldn't describe any other place as beloved. That is one thing we can agree upon. To this very day, Taiwan is the homeland of Father's heart. It's probably best if we don't spend too much time on the first line. I'm going to take a look at the others. Just a quick peek starting at the first twilight.
Me too. I'll leave the Sweetfish River to you, Aniki, and have a go at the second half.
On the first twilight of the 6 chosen by the key as sacrifices, how mysterious. I've got it. Eva suddenly muttered. All of the others spun around to look at her. Eva was flipping through the pages about Taiwan with incredible force, then found the page she was looking for and slammed the book open so hard that it almost tore. This whole time the book had been open to the page with place names. As far as the overall mass of information went, this seemed the most useful page to start from. However, the page Eva opened to was very limited in the scope of its information. It was a map of railway lines. As you travel down the river, there's a village. There it is, the village.
What are you talking about, Eva? Explain yourself.
Quiet. There's shore too, and a mouth. I'm not sure what it means by the two, but there definitely is a village and a shore and a mouth. This has to be it. This is definitely the village where the key to the gold sleeps.
Calm down. Explain it so we can understand too.
The Danshui line? I see. So the Sweetfish River was actually a railroad road called the Danshui line. Well, I doubt there are any sweetfish swimming there. Look. If we follow the Danshui line down, there's a station that used to be known as Kirigan. The Sekihai, right? Look at the characters it's written in. There's a village, Sato, a mouth, Kuchi, and a shore, Kishi. She's right. There's a village, mouth, and shore. As you travel down the river, you will see a village. True, that's the only station on the Danshui line that has the character for village in its name. I see, it's like a code pointing towards the station's name. This has to be it, there's no doubt. We just need to look a bit further and we'll definitely find out what the two who speak means. Look! This is it! The region around the station has the same name, except with a mouth in the second character. That makes a total of 2 mouth in Kirigan. Are those the two who speak? Incredible, Nissan. This has to be it. Does this mean that the key is hidden somewhere in this town of Kirigan? I wonder. The whole riddle so far has been a word game. If so, isn't it likely that the sleeping key is also a word game? I agree. On the first twilight, the key selects 6 sacrifices, right? So it's hard to imagine that it's actually something key-shaped.
Whoa, this is getting damn interesting.
Offer up the 6 chosen by the key. Let's think of a key that's somehow related to this. And let's break down this name, Kirigan. I'm absolutely sure that this is a word game. It has to be. Think, everyone. I guess this is the first time we actually see them all solve it together. Because, I mean, last time they tried to do it together, it was only Eva who solved it. That's interesting. Though this rain would get me down if I were alone, it feels nice and cool when you're by my side. It's about time for us to head back. I'm keeping Kanon-kun waiting. You're right. Now I've probably kept Jessica-chan and Batla-kun waiting. It brings back good memories. Remember when the 4 of us used to play together? It was a lot of fun back then too. To me, it's a lot of more fun now, because I get you all to myself. Oh, George-sama. They laughed at George's melodramatic line. But I feel like Shannon is not a fan of melodramatic lines anymore. However, George's laugh seemed just slightly forced. George-sama?
Hmm?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I guess I still have a bit of an inferiority complex when it comes to Batlakun. An inferiority complex? Like Uncle Rudolph, he's lively, interesting, and just full of energy. He's much more attractive than I am. I can tell how much he outshines me when we're together. That's not true. You're very accomplished and attractive. You aren't worse than Batlakun in any way.
Really?
Yes, really. The truth is, when I first heard that Batlakun would be coming back this year, I wasn't happy about it. Why not? 6 years ago, Batlakun was the one who was really close to you. I wanted to get closer to you, but I just couldn't manage to get between the two of you. You two just looked so good together that I could do nothing but watch on longingly. Is that how it was? Wasn't it just Batlakun making fun of me one-sidedly? Of course you looked incredibly good together. There's no doubt about that. I was sure that you two were going out. That never happened, you're overthinking it. I really am pathetic. I was afraid that when I handed you this ring today, you'd refuse. Why is that? Why should I refuse your ring, George-san? Because Batlakun came back. I was afraid that you might like Batlakun even now, and that now that he's here, you wouldn't have any use for me. Well, I'm pretty sure she has very complicated feelings about that. George-san, please look at this. You see the silver glint on my ring finger? What do you think that is? You're right. Sorry. What's got me so shaken, I wonder? I'm probably still jealous of him, now that he's gotten even cooler these past 6 years. How pathetic. No, it's okay. Those feelings are a sign that your love for me is so strong, you don't want to give me up to anyone. If you're worried about my feelings switching to Batlakun, just love me all the stronger so that such a thing won't be unthinkable. Love me so much that I don't have time to think about other men. I'm scared too. I'm sure you'll meet many women in the future who are much more attractive than me. That's a weird thing to read when you're not a... Or you might tire of me when I don't match up to your expectations. It scares me to think that I might not be able to grasp hold of your feelings for the rest of my life. There's no need for you to be scared of that. I swear to love you all my life. But even though I swore the same thing, you're having trouble believing it just because Batlakun came back. Touché. As Shannon giggled, George finally realized that his own lack of confidence had hurt her. I fallen for a wonderful man named Ushiromiya George-san, and this is a man who has sworn to love me all his life and who has given me a ring as a sign of this oath. With this ring here on my ring finger, I can give an honest confession. Sure. Yes, as you said, I did like Batlakun 6 years ago. I think I probably liked him more than you. However, that was 6 years ago. Now things are different. In these 6 years, I sorted out my feelings for Batlakun and cut myself off from them along with the memories of the past. Now I exist only to love you. Shannon spoke clearly and strongly. George gave a single uncertain laugh. It was probably the same sort of laugh the George of 6 years ago had made. Then he stretched resolutely and hugged Shannon without saying a word. In that moment he said goodbye to the person he had been 6 years ago.
Got the ladder.
Oh, they're already there.
Here we go.
Quadrillion. This is the only place you'll find that number written on this island. 1/10 of 10 quadrillion. How suspicious. If our idea is right, there should be some sort of device embedded in that relief.
We just need to check. Who's going out? I go. Hold that ladder down, okay?
Be careful. It is fairly high up. Rudolph climbed up the propped-up ladder, step by step as the rain poured down on him. Look at the queue. See anything? Some sort of device?
Ladder's a bit shaky. Oh boy.
What is it? Did something happen?
Bingo. Take a look at this.
Rudolph tossed the cue down. It hit Klaus on the shoulder and landed in a puddle. This is the key.
What does it mean? Rudolph, good. Don't tell me you can take out the other ones too. Yeah, it looks like it. Guess our crazy theories weren't far off after all. What's the next letter to take out?
I. And then L. Oh, he took out the wrong one, didn't he? Following her instructions, Rudolph removed the 6 letters of the first Twilight. Now that they'd gotten this far, nothing stood in the way of them solving the riddle. By trial and error, they finally reached the final stage. Ah, I see.
It says to gouge starting from the head, which must mean going from left to right.
Rudolph-san, starting from the left, turn the keys before taking them out.
Got it. Got it. Now we've massacred all of the letters. We reached the 9th Twilight and none are left alive.
So, did something happen?
It felt like something clicked, but nothing changed. Did a hidden door open up somewhere? Hey, look at that. It moved, I'm sure it did.
Everyone look. The lion statue is facing the other way. What is going on? Is there some secret inside the lion statue?
That's not it. It's probably telling us to look where the lion's pointing. See? Look that way.
That lion is facing a different way too. What does it mean? It's guiding us, stupid. We have to go in the direction the lion's face.
Aoife dashed forward. The others all chased after her. The gold was right in front of them. Now this is a surprise. Would have thought that a hidden stairway like this existed.
It makes sense now. Father didn't like people going near the chapel. I wonder how long that device has been there. Judging by the feel of this underground passage, probably for quite a long time. I imagine it was built at nearly the same time as the mansion itself. The riddle of the epitaph was probably also planned many decades ago.
Well, this is Dad we're talking about. I try not to let the things he does surprise me, but this...
Just how far does the stairway go?
Hey, maybe that old rumor was true. You know, the story about him having a mistress in a hidden mansion somewhere in the forest?
I see, it's likely that this underground passage goes all the way there. I wonder if it connects to the mansion from that day. I think we found the goal. Look at that filthy door. Something's written on it.
Whew, bingo.
Something was written on the door in red paint. On the 10th Twilight, the journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Land's treasures once and for the last time. Does it open? It does. Ready? I'm going to open it.
So we finally reached the gold. We can only hope that such a sweet deal's really true.
Let's open it, Nissan. Right, I'm opening it.
The heavy door opened slowly. Then the gold-filled underground VIP room showed itself. They only had an instant to admire its splendid furnishings. As soon as the mountain of gold next to the canopy bed came into sight, they all froze, stunned. After a second, the stunned silence faded and was replaced by cries of astonishment and wild joy.
Incredible! Can't believe it, it's 20 billion yen in gold. It really does exist. What a shining mountain, it almost blinds the eyes. We did it, we did it! We've won this game! You mustn't touch it without permission. This is Father's gold. Oh, really? Then why don't you call Father down here now? Right away. The time for your farce is over and done with.
Natsu-san, let's put an end to the obvious lies, shall we? We have a real mountain of gold right here. Shouldn't we all be honest with each other?
Fortunately, we are all in a good mood and are feeling very gracious now. Just give it up already.
A pile of gold this massive carries magic or power within it. That power draws out the most honest feelings within people. The light from the chandelier glinted off the golden mountain, lighting them up with its golden sparkle. It was as though the sparkle controlled everyone present. For some time they forgot their age, and howled and laughed, running about and rolling around like a bunch of excited kindergartners at a park.
What is all this? What's it supposed to mean? Before the crimes, the epitaph has been solved and by all of the siblings together. That hasn't happened in any of the games before now. Supposedly, Beatrice decided not to commit the crime if the epitaph was solved. Yeah, supposedly. We'll see about that. Angie snorted, but I believed. This is what Claire decided. Because she entrusted everything to the roulette of fate, she'll obey the result. She let the roulette decide her own fate, specifically because they couldn't decide on their own. So she'll do what it says. She'll follow her own rule. She'll definitely keep her promise. I don't think the crime will occur. Are you sure about that? Yes. Her roulette has already made its decision. This is the end of her game. If it's the end, what happens next? Do they all become happy rich people and leave the family contracts unharmed? Does my family get an ingot that isn't chocolate as a parting gift before coming back to me? Will it be a happy end for everyone? You think those witches would chain us to chairs to show us a naive dream like that? When she showed off the chain on her wrist with a clank, I was unable to counter her with confidence, but I want to believe. Though this might be the last, at least exciting ending, Claire's game has now reached an end. Perhaps just once at the end, she wanted to show us a world where no crime occurs. Now that she has disappeared with no regrets, is she leaving us a parting gift in the form of a game where no crime takes place? In a sense, the most peaceful sort of game? I want to believe, if only these heavy, cold chains weren't holding us in place in this theater. Yeah, I'm a bit suspicious about that. Is someone there? Rosa's shrill cry brought the celebrating to an immediate stop. Rosa knew she had seen it. The curtain against the wall had fluttered, and a shadow had been there behind it.
Come on, don't do that. You're just imagining things.
Is someone there? If you are, come out. When Eva yelled, the curtain shook. The hell? And then a witch wearing a black dress appeared from the other side. In an instant, everyone realized that the dress was the same as the one worn by the witch of the portrait, and they realized one more thing. This person was the owner of this room. Welcome to the Room of the Gold. Her face and her voice were expressionless, blank. The others all looked at each other, wondering who should respond. Rudolph was the first to speak.
So, you are Beatrice?
Indeed. And you're the one who gave Maria that letter? Indeed.
Is father behind this?
No. This is my game. If that is so, then we've won. We've solved the epitaph riddle and found the gold.
We've accepted your challenge and won. That means this gold belongs to us, right?
Indeed, it is as you say. You have solved the epitaph splendidly and discovered the hidden gold. This game ends in your victory. This gold no longer belongs to me, but to all of you.
It seems you're a graceful loser.
Hey, you. If we hadn't solved the epitaph riddle, what were you planning to do?
The letter said that you'd take everything of the Shidomir family.
Yes, I plan to take all of your wealth and all of your lives. I plan to do as I please with everything that exists on this island. The witch walked towards the table next to the bed. Then for the first time the others realized what sat on that table. They were 4 rifles. There was also a case filled with bullets. The witch picked up one of the lead bullets lying on the table and played with it, her face still expressionless as she spoke. If this night ended before you managed to solve the epitaph's riddle, I plan to follow the epitaph and commit 13 murders. What did you say? That's what I thought when I first saw that epitaph. It almost looks like something you'd find in a serial murder mystery novel. That's right. If you had killed 13 people to match the epitaph, that would have made for quite a mysterious crime. There's no way you could do that all by yourself. No matter how many guns you had, killing 13 people, that would just be... I formed my plan with great care and constructed several alternatives. I envisioned all of the actions you might take from tonight and through tomorrow, and prepared a mystery to deal with each of those. I'm afraid I cannot reveal those at this point, but it really was a tightly knit set of pleasant, close-through murders.
If there were just a few of us, you probably could have gunned us down in your sleep. But there's no way you could have killed 13 of us. We aren't that stupid.
It would seem so. At any rate, I predicted that the epitaph being solved before the first twilight was the most unlikely result.
It would seem that us reaching this place was a miscalculation on your part.
No. If this was one of the riddles of the roulette I wish to create, this is probably the best outcome for all of you. No one will die, and you can leave this island with the gold. Congratulations. This game ends with a perfect victory for you all. If no one could solve the riddle, she planned to take a gun and commit a serial murder. Everyone gulped as they watched the witch emotionlessly make her confession. If this confession of yours is the truth, that means you were trying to kill us. Yes, that is true.
The hell? How can you just say it like that? You couldn't possibly expect us to treat you favorably after revealing that much to us, right?
I am prepared. You may do as you will with me. If you hadn't solved the epitaph, I would have done the same to you, so it is only fair.
This girl's got guts.
I planned this game because I was prepared to bet my life. I am satisfied with the result. If you wish to kill me now, I am prepared. By now she didn't even treasure her life. As the witch spoke and walked near the others, they automatically stepped back. The gold belongs to all of you. I planned to give everything to the one who discovered it first, but I didn't expect there to be 7 of you. I leave the decision of how to split the gold to you. I will not involve myself, and... The witch walked even closer. The group parted and she walked up to the antique clock behind them. The clock was large and had a dignified feel to it. The witch patted it and spoke. Allow me to explain the device within this clock, for you have gained not just the gold, but the entirety of this island.
What do you mean by that?
If you read it like a murder case up until the 8th twilight, then only 13 people are killed, but by the 9th twilight, it clearly says that none are to be left alive. So I guess this clock probably is somehow able to blow the entire island up? Blow up the entire island?
What does that mean? That she was planning to massacre all of us?
Don't tell me that clock. As you have guessed, it is linked to a set of explosives. Are you the one who set that up? Or was that Ushidomiya Kinzo? Kinzo is the one who set up the device. Oh shit. It's the source of his mad magical power.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about. In other words, Dad set up this bomb, and if he ever went broke, he was ready to wipe out everything, including himself, and die.
On this island, Ushidomiya Kinzo made a contract with the Golden Witch and obtained the gold. However, that was not all he gained. What are you talking about? Wait, don't tell me.
There's that rumor about the remains of an old Japanese military base existing on Rokkanjima. Could it be?
Your guess is correct. Beneath this island sleep the remains of an underground Japanese military base from the time of the war, along with 900 tons of explosives.
900 tons? That's unbelievable. If that exploded, the result would be unimaginable. Forget just the mansion blowing up, it'll leave a massive crater.
I believe an expert's estimate put it at a hole several dozen meters deep and a kilometer across.
There wouldn't be even a trace left.
Those explosives can be ignited by a special device, one connected to the activation switch I just flipped. The witch toyed with the switch on the top part of the antique clock. If midnight arrives when the switch is in this position, the bombs will explode. It is almost 24 now. Could you please not? In other words, it won't explode X hours after you flip it. It's a time-limited bomb that only explodes at midnight. Indeed, it is almost midnight now. If such an explosion is what you desire, you need only leave it like this. Who would want that? Turn it off! By this time, Kinzo was probably the only one who knew. The secret base on Rokkanjima had started out as a submarine base. However, when that plan reached a standstill, it was redefined as a top-secret base for homeland defense. A huge plan had been drawn up to have the Army and Navy perform a pincer attack on American forces if the latter decided to land on Kujukuri Beach and press towards Tokyo. As a trump card for this massive defensive maneuver, the Navy started stockpiling large quantities of explosives and fuel in absolute secrecy. And the Rokkanjima base was the location of that top-secret stockpile. The buried explosives weighed 900 tons in total. Also fearing that the Americans might find out the island's secrets and seize the explosives, they set up a system for the self-destruction of the entire island. Kinzo, who knew all of this, decided not to remove this device, but to tie it in with this strange clock that could trigger such an explosion any night at midnight. Yeah, that sounds like something he'd do. Kinzo was famous for building up his funds, using a vast store of gold, then using those funds in several sink-or-swim gambles one after another. Just what did this stockpile of gold and the 900 tons of sleeping explosives mean to him? At this point, we can only guess. Perhaps the true source of Kinzo's mad power wasn't the gold after all. If he lost a big gamble and all that he owned, he could erase this entire island from existence with this device. For the rest of his life, he must have put the gold and everything else he had on the line. Kinzo probably stared at this clock at times, sometimes flipping the activation switch and letting it tick down. Maybe whenever he came up against a troubling problem, he would hide in here and flip the switch, with the intention of blowing everything away if he didn't think of a brilliant plan before midnight came. He could gaze at this mountain of gold, listening to the clock tick towards his death as he searched for an idea. That's gotta be stressful. Perhaps Ushidomiya Kenzo's real study wasn't the one in the mansion, but this place instead.
That sort of switch sounds just like Dad. So maybe each time Dad worried about something, all of us kids were put on the line as well.
This is father, so it wouldn't be unthinkable. This device now belongs to all of you. If you desire a massive explosion, use it whenever you please.
Are you crazy? Who would want a big explosion?
These explosives are half a century old, right? Would they really go off? Yes, of course. The explosives and the fuses are still working. I tested them myself. Megumi, you tested them?
You mean that?
Oh, is it the mirror?
I see, now I finally understand. So that's why the shrine disappeared without a trace.
I was about to say, it struck me as odd when they mentioned it for the first time that the entire thing is at the bottom of the ocean now, because until now it always was mentioned that it was hit by lightning. But, like, getting hit by lightning doesn't cause something to be below the water, be below the ocean, sink into the bottom of the ocean. That summer, the shrine had disappeared completely, along with the reef under it. Though people found it odd that the waves could have wiped it out so completely, no one paid it much mind. And now this piece fits perfectly into the hole that caused that strange feeling. Indeed, I used that shrine to test whether the explosives were really still working after half a century. I believe you are all aware of the result. The little bit I used was enough to make that entire reef vanish. It's easy to see how 900 tons of that would cause an explosion large enough to rewrite the map.
Dio would probably like this. If an explosion like that were to occur, it would certainly kill all of us. But what about you? I doubt you were planning to commit a group suicide with us.
This underground VIP room is connected by a subterranean passage to the remnants of the military base. If you go straight along that, you'll come out at the hidden mansion on the opposite side of the island, Kuwadorian. It's about 2 kilometers away, so you're safe there. If you make it all the way there, you should be able to escape the blast. I see. So you plan to escape to there just before the blast. I have only said that such a thing is possible. You may not believe this, but if the ninth twilight ended before any of you could solve the riddle, I plan to die along with everything else.
There's something seriously wrong with this girl.
She's insane. There's no point overthinking it. If we hadn't solved the epitaph, she would have used those guns, or else that switch, to massacre all of us, right? There's no doubting that now. You are correct. You have ended this game in the best possible way without there being even a single victim. I wish to convey my respect and admiration. There may have been 7 of you, but you did solve that riddle which took me so long to solve in a single night. That is worthy of praise.
And I admire you for your graciousness and honesty in defeat. We'll decide how to deal with you in the future, but I intend to do all I can to reach a gentlemanly agreement.
Pay me no mind any longer. I am already one of the dead who was already prepared to kill everyone and die myself. The Golden Witch Beatrice solved the epitaph, reached this room and revived, and now new people had solved the riddle and reached this room, so her role was finished. When the epitaph's riddle was solved, Beatrice's illusion of the witch ended. Most likely no one in this room was capable of understanding her grim determination. She herself was probably the only one who understood. As long as the many selves inside of her understood, that was enough. I am one, yet many. I abandoned myself to the magical roulette of endless possibilities. The result, the answer, is this. This is what the tarot cards, known as the epitaph ceremony, have shown me. Beatrice is already dead. They did not kill her. I killed her myself in accordance with fate's command. They will never understand for all eternity. The witch stared up at the ceiling without speaking for a while, then looked as though she had suddenly remembered something. She grabbed at the sleeves of her dress and took out some sort of card. Oh yes, I forgot. I have no need for money after death. I will give this to all of you as well. A cash card? I have converted a portion of the gold to cash. This is for the account that the money is in.
I see. So this is the source of the Golden Witch's magical energy. How much?
I've forgotten the details. However, there is more than 1 billion yen.
1 billion? Now that really would be magic.
True. There's nothing you couldn't do with that much money. Very true. The strongest magic to counter the human's anti-magic toxin is this magic of gold. It may be that this card holds greater power than the ingots.
Certainly. Cash would be much more agreeable than ingots.
Here you go. I have no need of this anymore. The card she held out was not taken by any of them. Who would ever just hand over a card with 1 billion yen in it? The mountain of gold, the device for blowing up the island, the card with 1 billion yen, all of these surpassed their understanding, so no one could bring themselves to take it.
I don't like it.
What don't you like? Here you go, here's the mountain of gold, and I'll turn off the explosives and give you a card worth 1 billion yen while we're at it. It sounds far too good to be true. You're trying to trick us somehow, aren't you? I have no desire to trick you, but I won't try and force you to believe. I have offered you everything, revealed everything. What you believe and what you do is now for you, the new masters of the gold, to decide. You are even free to disbelieve all I say and leave this place.
Eva, I can't imagine that she's lying.
And how could you know that? I don't like how relaxed she's acting. It's as though she thinks she's already won. I just had an idea a second ago. What if she's lying about which is the offside of the switch? That occurred to me as well. What do you mean, Nissan? Just a second ago, this woman flipped the switch to the side as she said we'll turn off the bomb. But what if that actually armed the bomb? We solved the riddle, so you turned the bomb switch to on, trying to blow us and everything else up, right? If that is what you think, then feel free to flip the switch on this clock. It will be midnight in 1 minute. Oh shit. I guess that's not enough time to get away. The clock will show you the truth. What did you say?
Hey, what are we supposed to do? Is the bomb set on now or off? I can't imagine that she's lying. It's inactive now. We shouldn't flip it.
But I don't like it. Why is she so resigned to her fate? Why is she offering us things one after another? She's tricking us to buy time. She wants to buy time until midnight so that she can go down in flames along with us. What about the switch itself? Is there some way to tell if it's on or off? On the upper part of the antique clock was a metal switch that could slide right or left. Right now it was set to the left. However, there were no marks in particular on either side to tell one which was off and which was on.
Hey, tell us the truth. Which way is off?
Left. It's off now. You idiot! You really expect an honest answer from her? It's the opposite, it has to be. The right side must be off.
Man, I have really no idea what I would do in this situation right now.
You don't have any more time, Nissan.
Quit it, Eva. Don't touch the switch. It's set to off now.
Eva-san, take your hands off it. I agree. It's off now. If she wanted to kill us with a bomb, she wouldn't have told us about it. You could be right, Christian. Beatrice, don't think you can trick me. 5, 4, 3, 2... Yeah.